Yo, 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 y'all. What's going on, man?
What up, world? We back, baby, in the zone. V and Z.
Big
What's
back.
good? What's goody?
Big back, man. It's been a busy weekend for myself, and I'm sure you've had your stuff going on too. So
Yeah,
how
man.
was your week overall, man? How you doing, man?
It's good, man. I'm actually out volunteering at a youth camp this week. So,
Okay.
I'm out here trying to do the Lord's work.
Hey, hallelujah.
So it's been a good week so far. Just one day away, and I'm back at the grind with all the kids later tonight. So having
Yeah,
a good
hey,
time, though.
it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do to make that impact. We are find different ways to
Exactly.
impact our community or impact those that are coming after us. And I think that's great. That's how I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I think that's great. Obviously, as I told y'all who've been watching and keeping up with us, that I was celebrating my anniversary.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
that went well, traveled and came back safely. So that's really all you can ask for. And obviously have a good time. But if anybody know me, if anybody know us, my wife, we just have a good time and we know how to enjoy each other's company. And yeah, it was great. It was great. We back. We back. And unfortunately, I had to miss watching the game live. But shout out to having the young DVR, being able to come home and really watch it. I was able to catch some highlights and scroll
Yeah.
through my timeline, to kind of see what was going on. Because we had the little social media package. But yeah, I'm glad that we are now back home and I'm able to break down what I need to break down and really get,
Yeah, we 1 week closer to week one, baby. 22 days.
listen, we almost down
22.
to. I know how quickly time is moving, so I'm gonna say it right now. We're gonna blink and it's gonna be single digits. We're gonna be saying
Right.
7 days. We're gonna be saying 3 days.
It's
So
3 weeks, baby.
right. So I'm gonna go straight to you because I'm sure you watched it as it was happening. Quick initial thoughts on what you saw Saturday.
It was nice to see off rip how the Bills second defense, held up against Colts starting offense.
Right.
They did get down and get some points, off a turnover, but off initial couple drives, the back end held up. I was curious to see how Elam and Benford and Jaquan and Hamlin would look against their receivers, but they held their own, man. Both rookies made a couple plays. I was impressed. I was impressed. I like what I saw from both of them. They look poised, they look calm and collected. I mean, I think Elam got one penalty. They didn't even show the replay, so I don't even know
Yeah, I saw
how
that.
legit of a penalty it was, but they held their own. I was excited to see that. They did their thing for the first time stepping on the field as pros.
Right. And it wasn't like they went against like the third team. Like they went
Right. Yeah, they went against the starting offense.
against the starting offense in that first quarter. Matt Ryan is still a veteran and
Mm-hmm.
you can debate, where he's going. I don't know if he Hall of Fame worthy, but regardless, he's a 15-year veteran who's played in big games. And the fact that they were able to keep up, like you said, with the receivers, like from what I saw, thing that jumped off the map was what we've been hearing from camp already is the confidence, right?
Right.
Play with confidence. You can see that they pretty sound in their techniques. Like that you give shout out to coaching for that because I'm sure they weren't perfect coming into camp. But when you get to camp, teach some fundamentals, get them working on their footwork a little bit better. Obviously, getting their hands on some balls. They both had some pass breakups, which is great to see because sometimes young guys like to just go for the pick. You know what I mean? It's, oh, I'm going to try to get this big interception. But it was good to see them be, using their hands the right way. Like you said, maybe one flag
Right.
got away from them, but on the two pass breakups that happened in the first quarter, you just saw them get their hand in there and just like, yo, not today. And on third down, which is
Yeah. Yeah. They made big plays when it counted, though. So that was nice. Other thing that jumped out to me was that boy Tim Settle was an animal off the ball.
yes, sir.
The
We
amount
talked
of
about it.
his get off and his power. I mean, he made Quentin Nelson end up on that back foot real quick.
Yeah, he
So
almost lifted him off the ground, man.
yeah, when Settle got signed, I said, yo, I told everybody that I know, I said, watch how Settle make a difference in his room. He got stuck behind some dogs in Washington, but this man can ball.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the field more. And that's the
Mhm.
fun thing. Like, they're not gonna have him at 25-30% snaps. He's gonna probably pay between 40 and 46. So like you said, just watching him push the pocket, affect the run game, even affect the pass game. Like, I think that we spend a lot of time on the outside. I'll say not we, but on the outside, I spend a lot of time talking about our ends because that's intriguing too. You got Von Miller, you got Dave, you got Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, who obviously made a play, but it's really the interior part of this line that's going to be the most exciting to watch because that penetration is going to be real.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Ed Oliver, the Jordan Phillips, like you said, the Settle, and then the Daquan Johnson. Like those four right there, all of them can start. And all of them can get their fair share of big plays, tackle for losses, sacks. I mean, I don't expect too many sacks from, let's say, a Daquan Jones or even a Settle, but tackle for losses, impacting those plays by getting that pressure.
Exactly. Resetting that line of scrimmage. That's what we need. Just
It's gonna be tough, but that's a good one. How about on the offensive side? Anybody catch your eye? Because I know who everybody talking about, and you may bring them up, but yeah, we know
yeah,
who had a big day.
yeah, we know who had a big day, but I mean, first thing that jumped out for me was, Zach Moss was getting a little loose in his couple opportunities. He looked fluid, he looked strong, he looked quick.
Right.
Good vision on that long run. He had to bounce that back outside, but you know, I've been kind of tooting Zach Moss's horn all off season, saying, I don't think his time is dead just yet.
Right.
And I mean, I think he's going to fight for his, but he looked good. He looked fluid. He didn't look tight and tense. So, if he's healthy and he can run with some confidence like he did the other day, I think he's going to have to garner some snaps. But so
Yeah.
I'll start with Moss because I got a feeling. I mean, I know where you headed after that, so I'll let you handle those other ones that had themselves a game.
Yeah, the young cats, man. You like to see two guys in particular, the two wide receivers, Khalil Shakir and then Isaiah Hodgins.
Right.
We'll start with Shakir. I mean, 5 catches, I think 92 yards,
Yes, sir.
showing the ability, kind of like we've talked about before, to make the contested catch, to keep the feet in bounds, to get positive yards, to line up anywhere. Almost like that Robert Woods feel. Great value Cooper Cup, if you will, where you can just kind of throw him on the field and just say, hey, get open.
Right.
And make the tough catch or even make the easy catch. And I think he has all of those tools to be a great 2/3 kind of guy where it's just like, it's almost like, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from Isaiah McKenzie because I know he's going to have a role too. It's almost like Cole Beasley on steroids where it's like, yeah, we had a guy who could get us 80, 85 catches a year or two ago and convert third downs, I guess. But Khalil Shakir gives you, yeah, I can convert a third down, but I can also get you the ball 30, 40 yards down the field and make a big play. And I'm talking about the splash play. You know what I mean? So I like that he has that ability because it really matches well with the other guys. Because if you think about Diggs, McKenzie, and Davis, every one of those guys can play at all three levels: short, intermediate, and they can go long if you need them to. And I think the same can be said with Shakir. So hey, I didn't need to see much because I had already heard some things, and even going to training camp, saw him do a couple things, but they've been already saying that he out there looking like a vet. So it's just good that when the lights came on,
Wasn't too big for him.
he showed what he liked though. And you could tell like he wasn't sweating or nothing. He's like, yo, this is football.
So this is what I do.
Yeah. So I don't know. How'd you feel about Hodgins though?
You know what? He made some tough catches across the middle. Like there was a couple ones that had a defender right on his hip, right on his shoulder, and he came down with the catch. So he made some timely catches. He had some good get off the line. I will say though, that one where he had that diving catch, which was a hell of a catch. I think you saw what one of his deficiencies is though, because he beat that man so clean off the line. He had 2 solid steps on, but by the time he got to the ball, the defender was right back on his hip.
Right.
It's just, I think that speed is what he's lacking. But if he can be I think he's going to have to be a tactician from a route running standpoint to create that separation. But if he can do that on a consistent basis,
Right.
and he has the big body, he has the good hands, I think he can do some things and be a solid, solid 3 or 4 contributor.
Yeah, and that's all it is right now. All they looking at is, can you come in? If an injury happens to one of our outside receivers, can you come in and contribute? Like you said, separation has been an issue that you've heard about with him over the last couple of years. Can he be able to create enough separation to be able to get that ball and get it upfield? Because we don't want you just to be a pass catcher who catches the ball and falls down. We had enough of that. You can name receivers all over the last 10, 20 years who could catch the ball, but then they were automatically going to the ground. So can you get the ball in your hands and get upfield, or can you get that step or two, like you said, and create more separation and take it down? Now, we know that's not ideal when you're 6'3", 6'4". I mean, there's only the Randy Mosses, the Calvin Johnsons who are that size who could really smoke you. You know what I mean? Normally you 6'3", 6'4", you're going to make the contested catch, but 9 times out of 10, you're not blowing past nobody. So we don't need him to be a Hall of Fame receiver, but I think that he just got to continue to grow and build off of that performance, though, because that's what I would like to see is, continue being confident in what you're doing, because we need to know as fans, and I'm sure the coaches too, like if Gabe go down, if Shakir go down, if Diggs, praying that he don't go down, we need somebody on that outside who can at least get Josh through a game or two.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to pull dudes off the street.
Yeah, with this performance over the weekend, I mean, I think he definitely put some pressure on Kumaro, because I think that's who his direct competition is. Like, I think his only pass for the roster is beating out Kumaro.
Right now.
It has to show that
about the outside.
Exactly, he has to show that he's capable as an outside receiver, but he's gonna have to actually show himself on special teams as well.
Yeah, he got to make at least a good tackle or a block or something, because you're right. Kumro, as we all know, is a great special teams player, great blocking, even blocking in the run game. You can count on Kumro for that. So, he has to be able to show some toughness, like point blank period. Like he's
going to have to
toughness.
Yeah, he's got to be Hodgins. I'm speaking of. He got to be at least serviceable on special teams. If he can hold his own, I think he'll be an upgrade from the receiver position itself. But he's going to have to show that he can hold his own as a special teamer.
Right. I think Kumro has had his moments, where, especially when he first came here, everybody was like, ooh, Kumro. Like, he was the hot thing.
Right.
But I think now we've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we've seen you in a couple games, caught a touchdown against Denver a couple years ago. Almost had a touchdown last year against New England, but I think he just dropped it. But I think we as fans already at this point kind of know what to expect from Kumro. So it's not like he's going to do anything that's going like surprise us, offensively. And that's why, Hodgins is coming in as the new toy that's healthy, because every year he's coming to camp, he's kind of been nicked up a little bit. So now you healthy, and it's just like, okay, I remember us getting you when you were supposed to be a sleeper. So it's like, all right, is you ready? Because we'll lock in, your position as the number 5 or the 6. But like you said, can he contribute to that special teams role? And I'm even saying too, if you want to go 4 or 5 wides in the red zone, all right, boom, we taking out McKenzie.
Right.
We taking out Crowder.
You throw a big body up there.
You're right. And we got Diggs, we got Dave. I mean, we got Diggs and Hodges on the outside, and we got Gabe and let's say Shakir in the slot. Let's play ball real quick.
Somebody getting boxed out.
Right. And that's what you want, though, is a guy who, maybe a couple of times a game that you can throw in there and say, hey, listen, we at the 10-yard line. Diggs is out there. Gabe is out there. We don't think they got nobody for you. Go over there and hop in a slot. And
right. And at the end of the day, I mean, we talking about the 5th or 6th receiver. So, I mean, you're not looking at even a targeted game.
Right. Not even really. I'm just saying.
Get in there every now and again. But, I think he definitely he's making the coach's decision a bit harder. So he showed up for that one, which is good for him. Kudos, because he's been hurt pretty much his first 2 years. So it's good for him to get a chance to get out there and, put something on tape for himself, though. So it was good to see.
Right. Good with that. So, obviously, outside of those two young guys, we saw the backup quarterbacks ball. Now, obviously, the hot topic that day, especially in the first half, was cut Keenum, Case, you trash, Case, you suck. Do you feel like fans should feel worried with what they saw in the first half with Case, or do you feel like that's just natural? Preseason, you get a couple tip balls, couple things.
I mean, I'm not tripping over it because again, first of all, he's been in the league 9, 10+ years now, and you saw what he's been over his career. He's an above average backup quarterback
Right.
who has been on a bunch of different teams, and he's had a few different stints as starters, and he held his own. Again, he's not a Pro Bowl quarterback, but what backup quarterback is at this point? You just want someone who's going to be serviceable.
Right.
But again, like I'm not tripping off of one preseason half. Did he look great? No, absolutely not. Am I gonna think that we should be starting Barkley instead? Absolutely not. Because Barkley's a cool story. I mean, he's good friends with Josh, yada yada yada. I don't want the backup job in the hands of Matt Barkley. I still feel more comfortable with Keenum as the backup as opposed to Barkley, even though Barkley is good at what he is. But
listen, man, Barkley is serviceable, but I get what you mean. Is like, Keenum got not only the experience, because I think him and Barkley been in the league at the same time, but if you talk about starts, if you talk about playoffs,
yeah, he's been there, he's done that.
Yeah, Case been in the big games. He been starting on winning teams in his past. And we know, like you said, Barkley is more of a journeyman at this point in his career, where it's like, yeah, if he lands, he'll either be second or third string, but you don't necessarily want to go into a game like, oh,
absolutely not.
Barkley.
No, we're not. We're not fine.
Yeah, that's a game you got to hand the ball off 30 times.
Right. But I mean, Keenum, he didn't play great. He was playing with, second team O-line, maybe even third team O-line in some spots.
Right, yeah.
Backup receiver. So he's not playing with who he'll be playing with. So if I'm going into a game and I know I got Diggs out there, I know I got Davis, I got Singletary and Moss and Cook and my starting O-line, I still feel like I'm in good hands with Keenum in there. Do I expect him to win the same amount of games as Josh? No.
No, ain't no back. Don't do that.
Do I think he can hold the ship down? Yeah. I still feel fine with Keenum being there. People, listen, fans in general.
Oh, we know.
I think they should just stay off social media while the game is going on, man. People being their feelings, putting these emotional tweets out.
We know.
Jumping to conclusions, like, yo, relax.
I know that's why I always just try.
Woosah. Just breathe.
That's why you got to watch who you follow too, because some people annoy you so bad. Where it's like,
I don't even go on social media during games. I can't. It's too toxic out there, man. People be wild.
I mean, for me, it's a way of expressing myself. But at times, like I said, I've done a better job, especially over the last 2 or 3 years, of just like squeezing as much as I should say it like this. I don't follow as many Bills pages or Bills related stuff just because of that. Like some fans who are feeling like every 20 minutes or every 2 minutes they need to tweet about the Bills, like that's kind of annoying. Especially the ones who, like you said, do the live game tweeting where it's just too much. Like everything is an exaggeration. Like
everything, the sky is falling, cut him, fire him.
You're not doing that. Like if you're gonna tweet about the Bills, just tweet with logic. You know what I mean? Give you a quick shout out to Bills Mafia. Okay, salute, go Bills. But those ones who overdo it, who kind of treat the Bills like it's a personality type of trait, y'all weird. But anyway, anyway, so overall, obviously we won the game. So for those who didn't watch, we were down, I think 24-10 in the fourth quarter. Matt Barkley comes out there. They get a chance to go down the field twice and they score.
What I didn't mention is what I really think sparked a lot of that is Raheem Blackshear. He provided some juice.
Nice practice squad player
to get that going. Yeah, if he can get to the practice squad and they can just hold on to him and keep developing him, I think he'll be good.
Right, just develop them, man. Because
Yeah,
if you can keep them, for another year or two, because we don't know what's going on with Singletary next
yeah,
year.
moving forward, exactly.
Obviously, we don't know what they see in Mars in the future. So, we pretty much know we got Cook for the next 4 years. So, yeah, Blackshear will
Yeah.
be a nice young back.
He provided some juice. Took a couple of them passes. Had a
Mhm.
nice little cut up
Nice cut.
field. Broke a
Oh
few tackles.
yeah, he
Had a
did. He did
couple
it
nice
twice in a row,
returns.
and that's what caught my eye. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
back to
one thing.
back plays. That
Yeah,
sparked that
it's
drive.
one thing to catch him sleeping, but when you come back and you hit,
Hit a
what I
bomb
mean?
bomb.
Yeah, boom, boom. I said, "Ooh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, with the little dead leg. I said, I see you.
yeah." Dad,
See
love a good dad leg. We done seen
you.
those from Shady and a couple other guys. One of the ones that come to my mind who used to hit people with that a lot back in the day was a receiver, Peter Ward.
Yeah, Singletary be hitting that joint too.
Oh yes,
From
and that's the
time to
thing though.
time.
Singletary is very underrated when it comes to his moves.
Yeah,
Like a
he
lot of
got the
people talk,
wiggle. He got good feet.
he got good feet. Like
Yeah,
I
but
ain't gonna go as far as saying great or top 5 feet, but let me tell you something. Linebackers and safeties, they be having an issue bringing them down one-on-one. We'll just leave it at that. When he gets you one-on-one, 9 times out of 10, he making somebody miss. And that's
right.
what I like about Singletary is that if he can get space, he can get it moving. And obviously we know that Cook is going to be one to watch this next game because I think he's going to get more extended play. I know he got like 5-6 touches, but I think in this next game, which we'll get into with Denver, I look to see him touch the ball more, and maybe play a full half maybe, and just to get his juices going. Pause, but just to see him, what I mean, do what he got to do because I feel like we really at that point now. You shit, 3 weeks away is the big game.
Right.
Other teams got that extra 3 days till Sunday. Nah, fam, we gotta be ready in exactly 3 weeks. And all of these young guys, that's why I like what McDermott and Leslie were saying about getting the 2 young corners to start was, hey, they need all the on the field reps they can get.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, Dane, guess what? You good for now? Let's let these young guys do this. Hey, Saran Neal, you sit down. Micah Poyer, we knew they were gonna sit down. You sit down, and you see what my man did too. I ain't forget my man Jaquan. Know what I mean?
He made a play.
Hey man,
He made a play.
my man be around the ball, and also shout out to Benford too, because I know, like I said, I want to talk about going into the what's the name game because this is really a quick recap vid, but I like what I saw from those guys too, because I know you mentioned the 2 young corners, but I know I'm gonna forget somebody too, and I might as well say his name too. The other linebacker too.
I'm talking about Bale Inspector.
Man.
Yeah, he was around. He was all over the field.
I've seen a couple overreaction videos of him though, mentioning Edmonds, but
oh, okay, yeah. If they're mentioning him replacing Edmonds,
man, listen, you know how some of us
absolutely wilding.
Yeah.
But he did play a very, very good game.
He was he
flashed, he was fast, solid tackler.
Listen.
Very, very solid tackler. Put some hits down, pass deflection. I think he had a pass breakup in there too.
Pass breakup.
So he played himself a great game.
He was looking like like a better version of AJ Klein. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has a path to the roster,
but you never know.
Without beating out somebody, a Dodson. Or
and I don't even think that's possible because sorry y'all for the background noise. It is thundering right now here in Buffalo, so you're gonna hear some thunder and some lightning in our audio. And if you watching us, yeah, shout out to that Buffalo weather. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a path to him on the roster. But again, that's another person they can get to the practice squad and develop. He's definitely somebody they're going to want to keep around because he played a good game. But I do want to shout out real quick Boogie Basham with the big splash play, the big strip sack on the fumble or big fumble with the strip sack. He made a hell of a rush outside, get that ball out, and was able to get the not even just turnover, but the touchdown off of that. If we can have a few of those plays sprinkled in this season,
that's what it's all about. And that's why I just saw on ESPN they got the Bills as the #1 ranked fantasy football defense, and I think some of that is that they believe that these these young guys we got will be making plays on the ball, and there will be opportunities for that. Fumble recoveries for touchdowns. I know we talked about last week. I was getting a pick six. We didn't get that, but the defense did score, so that was good to
Right.
see.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, so the more of that from Boogie, from Groot, obviously from Von, but from all the other young guys, if they can just go in with that mentality of, yo, let's get the ball. And then for the other guys, when we get it, let's grab it and we out. And that's why I like what Jaquan did too, because when Jaquan grabbed that interception, he made a couple moves. I mean, I seen a little stiff arm, and I'm like, oh, this nigga he might juke his way
Listen,
to.
For a second, I said, wait a minute. He might take this one.
Because he was shifting gears, and I'm like, oh, do he got a.
Yeah, they had a little wall out there set up.
Yeah,
too.
I'm like, yo, Jaquan, don't tease us, man.
Right.
But I like seeing that from the young guys because that's them showing the ability to see a play and make a play.
Right.
And, you know, all the great teams or the great defenses, they know how to do that. You can go back to the Ravens defense from back in the day, the Seahawks defense, Chicago's defense. Like, they all had something in common. They was going to make a fucking play on the ball.
Yeah, one way or another. We
go
go
to Tampa Bay defense when they had Dungy, like, and Warren Sapp and those guys, Derek Brooks, John Lynch and them guys, like, and Barber. Like, they was going to make a play. Yeah, shout out to Rondé. Like, them boys was all about see ball, get ball, let's make a play. And if you can combine that with this explosive offense, and we ain't even get to our guy. That's why I said we got to move quick. But in special teams,
yeah, I was just about to say how we 20 plus minutes in.
Man, listen, that's why I'm like, yo, hold on.
Yo, honestly, I thought that was gonna be the first thing you mentioned all show.
It's so much, and that's why I said that's why I love these reaction vids or vids after the game, because it be so much that be tied into what we see that we may leave out a thing or two,
right?
And it's just because there's so many exciting young players to watch. But yeah, to special teams, first off, okay, I see we got about 10 minutes. Anyways, first off, let's go to Tyler Bass and say shout out to the game winning kick, right?
Yeah.
Big
yeah. I mean, 3 45 plus yard kicks he got through. So
automatic,
no
sweat.
Yeah.
But then Mr. Areza, did they say the right pronunciation for his name?
Areza is what I always hear.
Okay, so shout out to the punt guy. You know what I mean? Like we've you know, I've gassed him up now for a few months. But an 82-yard punt. I know the net was 62.
Ain't no but. Ain't no 62. Every coach in the league 100 times out of 100 would take a 62-yard net punt.
Right.
You can't beat that.
You can't. And the fact that he did it with style, you know, the one sleeve on, him amped up after it happens, you know what I mean? Him getting his handshakes in. Like, I like that from my kicker and punter. You know, they got a little swag.
Definitely got the swaggiest punter in the league.
Right. And they both come with that confident energy. And I think confidence is the word with these young players on our team, because you see it from the corners to the linebackers to the special teams guys. And it's good it was even good to see him hold the kick too on the game.
Yeah, no issues. And the kick before that, it was a bit of a low snap, and he got it up, got it down, laces spun, no sweat.
Love to see it. So shout out to the punt guy. We don't hope to punt much. I think they said it was only 2 punts in the game from us, so it was not like
let it stay like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's so tough because the decision is really going to be made really from practice and training camp. Because I don't expect them to be punting much in the next 2 games.
Right. Hopefully not.
We'll see.
Yeah. So as we transition to this upcoming week, if you were Coach McDermott, are you playing any starters this week, or are you pretty much treating it the same as last week?
I'm treating this one more like the last preseason game.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. If something weird goes on, a guy tweaks something and they need a few weeks, I don't want it to happen that week 3 of preseason.
Right.
I'd rather it happen this week. So if I'm
that extra week,
right. If I'm him, I'm looking at guys who have pretty much been clean all training camp and allowing those guys to play. So Tremaine, maybe you go out there for a series or 2. Matt, maybe for a series or 2. Now the safeties, I'm willing to play it safe only because just a few weeks ago, both of them were dinged up. So I'm putting the safeties on ice.
Okay.
Y'all chill out. Corners, I want to definitely see a lot more of Benford. Elam, he can play, they can both play a whole half. Dane Jackson can probably play a quarter. If I'm looking at the D line, I honestly don't think really Vaughn needs to play. But if he's like, oh, coach, come on, let me get, all right, I know Denver's your old team. Maybe you play a couple series. Okay. Let's get your feet wet because we know we're not playing you in that last game.
Right.
That, what I mean? That's it. So if there's going to be if there's going to be a game, and I'll wrap it up by saying that if it's going to be a game where you play Vaughn, Steph, or J.A., because neither of them have been dinged up all camp. So those three players in particular, those basically are three most valuable players. I would play them maybe for a few series and then just take them out. Just a couple routine plays, nothing crazy. Because like I said, I know how McDermott is, and he's more of a, hey, I want y'all to get y'all fucking feet wet. Like that's just how he is. Like he kind of want to put him through it. Now, he could go to the extra safe route, which I wouldn't mind, and just have him have a higher practice or so before that, where they in pads and going through live shit. And he could definitely do that, and I wouldn't be mad. But I got a feeling we'll see at least 75% of the starters.
Okay.
And I think, like I said, they'll probably play a few series. If they play a full quarter, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't want to do that. But like I said, we're talking about McDermott. So I don't know. What you think?
I think there's a better chance of them doing it this week than week 3. I know last year they did do it on week 3, but I know that the Bills coaching staff and the Bills organization as a whole is always mindful of the fans. And this is a second home game, Kids Day. Like, I know they'll want to put on a little bit of a show for them and the fans and the kids for all the support. So I think there's a greater chance of them doing more starters this week than last week. But if that's the case, I definitely don't expect to see anybody week 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some starters in there this week. Yep. I do want to see what that starting goal line looks like together. So
yeah, I don't know. And I was going to ask you, do you think they'll let Saffold play?
I think so. I mean, he's been back for a week and some change now.
About a week, yeah.
So, it doesn't take a professional athlete that long to get ramped back up.
Right. And plus, you probably want to get him some reps for that last preseason game.
Exactly. Because again, he's been there, done that as a vet. But again, It's still been 8 months or so, 8-9 months since he's played in the game.
Facts.
So I know he want to just let's go through the motions again. Just get back out there, feel the energy, rush, get out your stance, just get a feel for the live environment again. So I just want to see what those starting 5 looks like. Throw Josh out there for a series or 2. I'm cool with that. I really don't need to see Diggs at all. But again, if they want to put him out there,
get any reps, you might as well let him get his.
Just catch the ball and go down. You ain't got to make nobody miss. All sideline catches.
Or you could do one deep route if you want to, because you really can't hurt yourself. I mean, unless you pull a hammy or something, knock on wood. But I mean, maybe one stop and go. I don't know. But
So as we're getting ready to wrap up for the week,
thunder is thundering, y'all. I'm sorry. Man.
Yeah, it is kind of wild over here too. But as we get ready to wrap up, what's one player you're looking for this week that you're gonna just have a extra eye on?
So be honest with you, and I'll probably say 2, but it's gonna be Kyer once again.
Okay.
Just because I'm just okay. Is you ready for week 1? You know what I mean? Because I really believe he should be starting by week 1. So
okay.
So boom. Can you show enough to give your coaches confidence to have you starting by week 1? Now, if he isn't starting week 1, it's not the end of the world. But for my satisfaction, just show enough.
Okay.
Secondly, I'll say probably the last chance that he'll get is Tavon Austin. Can you do enough to crack the 53, which right now is an uphill battle, in the return game, whatever the case may be? I heard he just got back to practice a couple of days ago. So I'm also looking at that. He'll most likely play this preseason game. Can he make a last ditch effort? And honestly, they're allowing veterans to stick on the practice squad too. So
Right.
he could be a very well, because I think he did it in Jacksonville last year, where you put him on practice squad for a few weeks. If you need to call him up, you call him up. So I haven't lost all faith on him sticking around, but that's what I got. But I'll let you go because I know we got to sign on.
I'm sticking with the same position group. I want to see how Jamison Crowder looks. He did have the one pick go off his hands last week, so I just want to see how he bounced back. I don't necessarily think he's in danger of being cut right now, but again, I also don't think his spot is locked up either.
Nah.
So I just want to see how he looks in this offense again, just because I do think his gameplay is going to be the determining factor one way or another if he's on this team and not. So I want to see how he looks again this week, and we'll kind of go from there.
All right. And now listen, y'all, as we told y'all before, sometimes when we do these videos, we got to cut them short. So hopefully you guys were able to feel everything we were saying, and probably a lot of it was relatable, because I think a lot of Bills fans felt some good security about what we saw. But listen, we appreciate y'all for listening to our recap.
Same as every week. Like, subscribe, share. Just come kick it with us again. Man. So
yes, DM comment. This is Vel
and your boy Z. We will see y'all next week after week 2 of the preseason. We love y'all, man. Appreciate it.
Already. No. Peace out, y'all. Peace.